All right, this should be better. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm going to be joining here with Nathaniel Seeley from Bluesoft. We're going to be talking about imagery tonight. I was supposed to go live on Facebook. We were supposed to go live on Facebook, but had some technical difficulties here. So give him a second. Technology changing, man. There we go.
All right, finally.
Thanks for the patience, man.
Yeah, no problem. Facebook was being kind of weird. We couldn't get on our desktop or on mobile, so yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. We never had issues in the past, but we just want to make this brief tonight. It's Friday, so we want to give you something to think about through the weekend, and then come Monday, you're ready to rock and roll, and give you a little background of Nate. Nate, what do you do? What are you working on? And what are we working on, I guess, and kind of how is this relevant to what we do?
Right, yeah. I mean, photos is really a big part of any business, and really just showing people who you are and what the experience is going to be like is huge to getting people to take action and really and trust you, right? Especially if you're a service-based business like HVAC and plumbers, these people have to trust you in their home and business, and it's just a really good idea to show them who they're inviting into their home. So.
Right, that's a big one, and that's why we're really starting to dial down in on the heating and cooling industry and plumbing and a lot of the home service stuff, because that is really important. Local SEO is really important, and being found, but also painting that picture, that first impression. A lot of times when they call and schedule appointment, in most any business, right? Even with us, they want to see who they're doing business with. They want to see how they interact. They want to be able to see their credentials and then know that they could trust that you have, their best interests in mind. So we just want to go down. Nate has some tips. I have some tips. We're going to kind of do a 1-2 punch here and just kind of roll through some ways that you can take photography yourself. That my wife does photography. She's really good. She's had a lot of success, and it could be really expensive, and it could be even a little daunting, I guess, to invest in something like that. So with the technology out there today, with our phones and stuff, there's a lot of ways that we could do it ourselves. So I'm going to let Nate go ahead and jump this off right now.
Sure. Yeah, so I think
Live.
one thing I know, a little nerve-wracking. So I think I want to talk about an experience I had, which is my AC went out in the summer here in Phoenix. It was urgent, and I had to use my warranty company, so I didn't get to choose the company. So a little bit different scenario, but just to give you an idea, the guys that came, I mean, they looked like they rolled out of bed. One guy had, the words F off on his shoes really big. It looked like both of them combed their hair with their pillow that morning. And it was just really unprofessional. And despite the fact that I didn't really fix my AC unit correctly, it was just a really bad experience. I didn't feel that comfortable even with those guys in my house. So, consumers these days they're becoming a lot more savvy online. They're looking at reviews and even Google My Business these days. They're really pushing companies to upload, photos of, their team at work, company photos, including brand images, logos, things like that. And so I think what we really want to do here is just bring you a ton of value and kind of just give you some quick tips, things you can do to create some really nice photos. And number one, obviously, is if you read any books like Psychology of Selling, it talks about, shaving and combing your hair and looking nice, obviously, right? And then, if you have company shirts, use company shirts. If you don't, use a nice polo or something like that. So just kind of set it up, look professional, just like you're speaking to a customer. People just naturally judge. It's just a natural thing that we do. So keep that in mind. And like I said, people want to know who's entering their home. So show them that you guys are quality. Show them that you're trustworthy, and people want to see generally clean cut folks. So you're just building trust. So right off the bat, you're building trust with these images. So how can you go about getting photos without spending tons of money? It's really easy. I mean, just employing the help of friends and family, loved ones to come out and maybe go to a job with you, right? So And
Right.
you can do that a number of ways. Like, you could plan it ahead. If you know you have a gig near a friend's house, have them join you. Ask them, say, hey, I've got an appointment on Tuesday at 3 p.m. by your house, man. Here's the address. Can you meet me? You probably want to let the customer know ahead of time. And if you can get there okay, even better, because now, they might be okay with hopping on a video or even photos, and being part of that, and kind of really relaying the customer experience. So plan ahead, get resourceful. And even if you can't get a friend or family member to do this stuff, you can always do it yourself too. Like, there's little cheap gadgets on Amazon, like a small little tripod with a Bluetooth remote you can hook up to your phone, set it on, the HVAC unit you're working on, or the kitchen, and take photos of yourself doing it, even with timers and stuff like that. So you could even use a timer on your phone. I would say that's going to make it a lot harder, because, you got to click it, get in the position, and wait, and hopefully you got it right. And what I found is that, if you're not a professional photographer, you're going to have to take hundreds, maybe even 1,000 photos on a gig to get a few good ones. I know for me, I'll do some small shoots for clients, and I'll end up with 1,200 photos, and probably, yeah, a 3 or 4 hour period. But the cool thing is, I'm going to end up with some really good ones, like 100, really nice professional ones. And another thing too is, like, you don't have to worry too much. Even if you mess up and the lighting's not right, you can work miracles in things like Adobe Lightroom. So I
Hmm.
mean, you can save them. I've done that too. Like, I was kind of messing around with a DSLR, and trying to get some good photos, and I just did not have the shutter speed right, and a few other things.
It's tough, man.
Settings were messed up. Yeah, those things are hard to use, but I was able to save them by just sending them to a Lightroom guy, and he worked wonders on them. So, and that stuff's cheap. You can get probably 400 photos edited for like maybe $40, $20 even. So, and you can go
Yeah.
to Fiverr for that too. So just check out Adobe Lightroom guys on Fiverr. That could help you save your images, especially if you're working with an older phone, and it maybe doesn't have the best camera. You can still be all right with that. So, I think other tips would just be, when you're out there doing the job, act natural. But also, if you're with someone, you can smile and have fun with it. Just be yourself, and just tell your friend to just keep snapping photos. Snap, a lot. Like I said, 1,000 photos in really just a few hours, and it's going to go a long way for you. So,
Definitely.
like I was saying, when you're out there and you've got your friend taking photos, see if you can get the permission of the customer. See, this would be a good opportunity to, do a thank you video, right? So, like, let's say you make a thank you video, you could put that on a thank you page. And when someone submits your form and they get redirected to the thank you page, it could be you on video saying, hey, thanks for requesting a free estimate from us. I look forward to serving you. So there's great ways that you can, use this media to really make it interactive. So, but yeah,
Definitely.
other than that, let's see here, just a few more notes here. Yeah, so it doesn't have to, be an all day event. It can just be, an hour or two, really, to just snap as many photos as possible. Um, let's see here. And yeah, so I mean, other than that, as you're going on and taking all these photos, try different angles, get down low, get down high, try from behind, from front, just all these different vantage points, and just just keep hitting that photo button, because I promise you, maybe it's 1 in every 20 is awesome, but eventually you get it right. So yeah, I mean, that I think is the gist of what I have, Jordan.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I think that's what's awesome about, Nate and I's partnership is, kind of the ways that we complement each other and how we can really help you guys. And really all his advice here is just really focused on, how do you get started? Just get going, have some confidence. I think the biggest thing when it comes to, doing something yourself and being authentic, a little bit vulnerable. If you have employees, is getting them to do it, right? If you got to incentivize them. But get it together, put it on the calendar, and then follow through. If you don't have a camera, have a backup camera. If you don't like your phone, find somebody that has a phone. You know, if you don't have a photographer, you don't want to pay a photographer, like Nate said, ask a family member, ask your husband or wife, ask a friend, ask somebody on the street to just take some pictures of you walking or something. I mean, anything to just get a little bit of personality from you, especially CEOs, business owners, you know, major players in the business itself. I think is important to be able to say, okay, hey, these are the people that are running this company. You know, these are the people that set the foundation for the culture, holding people accountable, quality service, all these things. This is them. And if you're kind of hiding behind the scenes because you're not photogenic or you don't want to shave, or you don't want to look nice and stuff, you want to be yourself. That's fine if you don't want to do those things. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's more worth it to you to kind of do the things that you think is right, which we find a lot of business owners do. It's like, well, I'm just kind of stuck in this, or do we want to kind of change tweak a little bit here and there, to be a little bit more, I hate the word appealing, but, you know, genuine, or to seem a little more human to your target audience, right? You know, because if they have to kind of guess based on maybe reputation or what they see your website looks like, or zero activity on Facebook, they may just assume you don't care. And like Nate said, we're judging beings, and you know, you don't want that. So you know, like me, I don't like to shave and stuff. I don't even have hair. You know, I just kind of let my pillow wipe off the sweat in the morning. I think you said you comb your hair with the pillow.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good one. But you know, I'm not one of those. You know, I'm a white T-shirt guy, all that stuff. But hey, you know, if somebody's gonna not take me seriously because I have a white T-shirt on, I got, you know, some scruff and stuff. You know, I got to clean that up. That's pride, and you know, let's be presentable, and let's focus on the first impression. So that's kind of like summarizing Nate. Sorry, I kind of summarized it for you, but it's just the idea of getting it done. It's really important. Now, when it comes to doing your pictures, once you kind of get some going, you'll see that, hey, it may not turn out that well. I may need to hire a photographer, but there are some things that you can do to really make sure that the pictures pop a little bit more. And you know, just working with my wife and the stuff that she's learned over the years, it's really helped me be able to be a better creative director in some of these photo shoots and stuff that we've done, to make sure that the settings are right and everything. So really the first thing I wrote down here is just the angles. Nate, you already mentioned it. You know, and when it comes to angles, my wife actually used to say this, that, you know, she just couldn't take the right shots. You know, she's kind of more to the point and shoot. But if you really study and understand perspective and vantage points, it really kind of helps you understand the mood of a picture. So, for example, Nate was up. We were in Pine last week, right?
Yeah.
Or Eager or something. And you were just taking some pictures just for this. We were talking about doing this as a content strategy. And you know, he's taking different pictures. He's sitting at a table from behind, over the shoulder, kind of lower, you know, like as a kid or something. And then one that's smiling, and then one that's not, you know, more serious or thinking, getting those authentic moments. But if you're able, for me, what I really think about when I'm positioning this stuff, the angle is who's watching, who do we want to convey, what perspective do we want to convey here? So is it a kid? Is it your dog that's walking in the door seeing you working? And I think that stuff matters. So 2 tips I really have is try to capture something in the left or the right, not the top or the bottom, but the left or the right that can kind of take a little bit of the focus off, but it's just a little piece of something. I would say like the corner of a wall, like the entryway of a door. I was just editing some photos my wife did. It was like a fence with a boy. She had the post of the fence there, and he was on the side of the fence. It just kind of gives you that little feel like, hey, I'm not really there. I'm kind of watching, but the person doesn't know I'm there. It just creates a little bit more authenticity. And then the other thing is, I think when it's for CEOs and stuff, if you just get a little bit below, some people give me crap about this because you could see it in my nostrils, but get your subject to kind of tilt their head down a little bit, and you just shoot from a little bit lower. It gives them a little bit more authority. So think of it, if you're standing like this doing your headshot and it's coming down, it makes you look, you know, minuscule. It makes you look smaller. They do this in movies all the time to make actors seem like a hero. It's called a hero shot. So if you're just a little bit below, even at a little bit of angle to the right or to the left, it gives a little bit of edge to the picture, and it helps people really see you as an authoritative figure, as if they're looking up at you. So those are just some really simple tips that you could do. The second thing I would focus on is lighting. So as you could kind of see right now, the way my lighting's set up, because we didn't really get to do what we had planned, but you could kind of see some shadows going across my face and stuff that it's not bad. It doesn't make the picture negative or anything, but it's just little things that you can notice, not as a photographer, to help you get a little bit better quality. So try to get like the lighting on one side of the face if you want something a little bit more edgy that gives you a little bit of darkness here, maybe looking off to the right. And you know, if you're walking outside or something, there's a tree or you know, you have a little silhouette in the background that's kind of shining, or if you have the sun behind you or the lights behind you, it'll give you a little bit of a glow. So all these things matter, but the main thing is if you want a good headshot, you want to have a good lighting on the right, on the left, and then what's called a fill light. So anything that's underneath you here and then overhead. So any way I move my hands here, I'm not going to get any shadows. And that'll allow you to kind of just turn and move and not really worry about that. You could buy some daylight lights and a little, you know, light desktop light for $10, or find them at Goodwill, get 2 for $10 and put some bulbs in it, shine some light on this stuff, make it look professional. You don't need somebody to come in and set up a studio for something to look a lot better than a selfie, right? I think, and then the last thing for me is once you kind of get a good feel for what you're doing and you get confident with your taking pictures and stuff, try to start developing some image guidelines. And that's really what Nate and I do to help our clients take things to the next level. How do you create pictures that people can identify and say, that's a pre-focus picture, or that's a blue soft picture? He's got a little bit of hue of blue in there, or some dark contrast. Maybe the face is a little bit more depth, or it's a little bit more edgy, making him look a little bit more rugged or soft. You know, like my wife does a lot of baby pictures and stuff. You can edit it so it makes it really soft. And develop consistency there. So when people are scrolling on social media and they come across your post and they value what you do, right? They'll be able to say, without even looking at the title, that it's you. And I think that's really important. All this stuff is branding, and it allows people to recognize and identify your business as quality and see that you're taking the time to really resonate with them. One client that we worked with a couple of years ago was a heating and cooling client, actually. And what we ended up doing is for all their heating pages on their website, we did like a more of a reddish orange hue on it, I guess, if that's what you would call, to convey heating, right? And then for the air conditioning stuff, we did a little bit more darker blue. So whether we did a black and white photo or a colored photo, it had that little, you know, differentiation to it. There's a movie called Crash, and they do this. I think it was Crash, but when you're in Mexico, or is The Bridge? That's the show. Sorry, this is off the cuff. The Bridge is, I don't remember what, but it was when it was in Mexico, it was red, like a reddish, yellowish, and then in the United States it was a blue. Some people don't notice that stuff, but it's cool because it helps you kind of remember. And in the show, you didn't ever really have to think about where they're at because you just started to subconsciously know. And that's kind of with brand imagery guidelines. It's kind of really similar to that. Be recognizable and take pictures that are genuine, you know, doing real stuff, be fluent, be happy, love what you do, have passion, work hard. Don't just do photo shoots and take selfies and next to your car or, you know, looking really ritzy and glamorous. You know, show yourself doing the work, you know, working hard, learning or growing or caring, interacting with people. All these things, you know, like Nate said, you could take 20 pictures of the same thing and one of them is going to stick. So that's really all, you know, I think that I have. And I think that really is enough to get people started on really understanding and knowing how to just take pictures. And like Nate said, the first thing is just doing it. Because if you don't have nothing, then people can't see you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we could expand even more. Like you were saying, like putting people in like the right side of the image or left side, that helps a lot with web design because that allows you to actually put text on the image, right? Because if you're not in the center, it's going to allow you to work with a little bit more in terms of web design. So like a header image, adding text for social media posts, right? You might want to add text to it. So that's definitely really good. But I also wanted to talk about like, so I've worked with a lot of home inspectors and I've seen home inspectors, you know, the ones that are all out for their business, those are the guys that, maybe they're new, maybe they don't have clients yet, but they'll do an inspection on their own home, right? And they actually take photos of that. So, if you are in that position, maybe you're a new business or whatever, you can stage things. It doesn't have to be, actually going to a gig as well. So if you're an HVAC guy, you can go out to your own AC unit and service it and take photos. So it doesn't even have to be, going out somewhere. And additionally, if you need, if you need photos too, like, I mean, look at my house. I have an RO, I've got a water softener. Obviously I have an old HVAC unit. I mean, you could do hundreds of angles on those and be able to use them and even, zoom in on certain parts like the remineralizer on my RO system. Maybe you're doing a blog article and you need some content for that. Obviously authentic photos are going to do way better. So I think it goes really deep in terms of what you can do. So it's just about being resourceful on many different levels. So yeah.
That's a great point. I think that's something, we maybe a little bit, extending a little bit too deep, but I think that's brilliant. Just talk. That's the stuff that we do is, my client may hire me to take some pictures of a water heater, but what if I get the copper piping? What if I get, the FUE, or is that what it's called? The flue or the igniter, or just the brand itself? The flue is the metal thing that goes up, I think, for the exhaust. I don't know if they have them on a water heater, but you guys know what I'm saying. Get every little inch of the pieces, because you never know, like, what if you write a blog, or what if you do a social post that needs that image? Now you don't have to go back and do it again. And then to add to that, create a library. Google Drive's free. There's all kinds of stuff. You just create folders on your desktop, and you have and organize it so that in your marketing. That's what pre-focus is in your marketing. How do we seamlessly make this efficient and save you money and find ways to cut corners and expedite the process and get you those results that you need? And these are all little things that you could do to really increase your ROI.
Yeah, and Google My Business is like we were just talking about the other day, is probably more critical than even your website, because when you do a Google search, you have your ads, and then you have your Google My Business, and then below that you have the regular organic listings. So you really want to optimize your Google My Business, and the Google My Business admin panel, it asks for you to upload team photos, to upload brand photos, to upload at work photos. And Google's going to reward you if you use this stuff. And not only are they going to reward you generally with better rankings, but, they're going to reward you in terms of just the overall experience. When someone actually does click on your Google My Business listing and they stay there longer, Google sees that. And Google knows how long people are viewing your Google My Business listing and how engaging it is. Just like your website. Like how many times you go to a website and it's some cheesy stock photo and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to see this again, this dude again. It's just cheesy. And when you can have authentic photos, you're going to keep people on your website longer too. So it just affects so much. It affects the search engine optimization. It affects the customer experience and the engagement, as well as just paints the picture of what kind of experience they're going to have when they do business with you. So, yeah. I mean, experience.
Just think, you could take a picture right here like me sitting like this. And I mean, we could get my shoulders in here, right? We could go back a little bit. If my lighting's good, we're able to have, at least a decent camera or whatnot to get some nice raw footage. You could take this picture right here and you could crop it this way as a headshot to maybe put as a vertical image on a business card or whatever. You could use the whole thing as a social media post with some text right here. And then if you wanted to shrink it down as a header, then you could use that as a header and maybe fade out this side. And there's all kinds of things that you could do with one image if you just really think about these things, because photographers, they make a lot of money doing this type of stuff. And not to give away the secrets and stuff, but the businesses that don't have that type of capital, that don't have those marketing budgets, but they want to work with some guys like us that could really help them strategically piece some things together, then there's always tons of little things that you could do to just really enhance what you're doing.
Yeah, just get it done. Either, you're working on your business or in your business. And the more you work on your business, the more you can grow it and scale it. So, it's important to take time for that. And, I think we've all, as business owners, have gotten to the point where we're comfortable and we're just working in our business. And, You know, just taking photos is really a huge step towards working on your business.
Yeah. And just be mindful. I think really the last thing I have is just, what you have in the background. Obviously this is where I do videos and stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. And I happen to have a camera right there because that's what we do. But if you got like some toilet paper or, a nudie magazine or something sitting in the background, or, your kid's foot, is sticking in the door, or even if you're shooting by a window, I'm by a window right now and there could be something outside, right? That could be really distracting. So take some time to tidy it up, put some relevant things, if you're a plumber, then put a big old wrench or something in your pocket at least, I mean, that might be cheesy. But you know what I'm saying. Paint the picture and be cognizant of what's around you that might detract from the purpose of you taking the pictures in the first place. So
Yeah, just thank Greenworks HVAC Pros. Thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. Trist Mechanical. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Let us know, what content you guys are looking for too. We're here to help just bring businesses value. So let us know.
yeah, and I think it'll be good because we just jumped on this. We just came up with this strategy, and we're gonna really roll this out because photography is a big part of what we do. But I think we might even just maybe jump on Sunday night or something and just do this again since we weren't really planning on doing it on here, but I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, Facebook, like I said, wouldn't let us go live, so we just jumped on Instagram. Maybe we just do Instagram moving forward, man. It was easy, right? Facebook gave us all kinds of issues. So
yeah, take our own advice here. Simplify it. If there's people watching that could take value, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So appreciate you guys. Be purposeful with everything you do. That's what we always focus on. And if you need anything, let us know.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.